So, hello again, this is Alan, guitar instructor at Rock Island Sound with lesson number 4 on chords. So, a quick review of the first 3 lessons. The first one, we went over E minor, putting the first finger down on the first fret of the 3rd string, gave us E major. You take that entire shape, move it down 1 set of strings towards the ground, is A minor. Okay. In lesson number 2, it was D to A to E. And this is where the first finger is the guide. It's a common note between D and A, and then it just slides down to the 1st fret as you make the E chord. Okay? Lesson number 3. This was a tough one for some people. The new chord, the G chord, and then the C chord, and then the D chord. So we're building off of the previous lessons, and the new chord today is going to be F. Now this will be the first chord where you actually cover 2 strings with 1 finger. But before we get into that, what is a chord? I've been using that term for 3 lessons. A chord is when you play a minimum of 3 different pitches at the same time. So you'll notice that any of the chords we went over so far, there will be 3 pitches, and some of them may be doubled with open strings or the fingering that you're making. Remember, we change the length of the string to change the pitch. The shorter the string, the higher the pitch. So if you're making your G with this shape, remember the middle 2 fingers are the key. You just drop them down a set of strings to get the C, and then you go all the way down to the 1st and 2nd string for that D shape. And as I said before, we don't play that 6th string because that's not a note in the chord. So you should be strumming from the 5th string down, or just avoid that 6th string. Now the F is based off of last lesson, because those 2 middle fingers, there's your G, they drop down to the C. Well, to make the F chord, they go down 1 other set of strings. So your 1st finger, which is on the C, will flatten out to cover the 1st and 2nd strings. So the notes, we're only concerned about the highest 4 strings, 1, 2, 3, 4, which are the thinnest, closest to the ground. So that's the 4 notes that we're concerned about. The 5th string open, that's part of an F chord. That's an A. And if you can do it, you can cover the 1st fret of the 6th string with your thumb, or at least deaden it so it doesn't really ring through. Now, there's another way that a lot of people make this, and this will be into an upcoming lesson, which is bar chords. So you're going to take your 1st finger and cover all the strings and have this here. So that's a full F chord, but we'll come back to that when we get into bar chords. The beauty of the F chord, where you're just playing these top 4, is that it's easy to get to from the C. And in the key of C, the F chord will be played a lot. So there's your C shape. You move the middle 2 fingers closer to the ground. you turn your wrist a little bit and cover the first two strings, that's called barring off, with your finger. So the tip of the finger, as in with the C chord, is the first fret of the second string. That note is in the F chord. So you just take your hand and shift it like this. And again, it will take practice. The only way to learn any instrument is through repetition and practice. Now, this F chord is going to open up a whole new world for you, because if you're just playing the top four strings, the highest notes, you can just take this chord up the fingerboard, up the neck, and you will have every major chord there is. So F, we go up one, F sharp, there's your G. It's the same pitches basically as the G from lesson 3. And then A flat, A, B flat, B, C, and so on. So this is a big time chord shape that you will use a lot. So it's one of those chords that once you get it down, you've got a bunch of other chords at your disposal. It's kind of like the E major shape, that exact same shape, moved down to higher strings, becomes the A minor. But this gives you so many more places to go. So there's your C to F to G. So just to go over this again really quick, the middle two fingers for the G chord, 6th and 5th string. For the C chord, you just move those pair down towards the ground, one set of strings, first finger, first fret, second string, there's your C. Take the middle two fingers down towards the ground, one other set of strings, 4th and 3rd string, and then you just roll your first finger over like this. And to make any of these chord shapes, if you have to move your elbow to a certain place or move your wrist a certain way to get your fingers to fret cleanly and properly, that's what you have to do. So remember, we're making music here, so if it doesn't sound right or something sounds wrong, something's buzzing, just, sounds strange, you're probably not making the chord the right way. And again, we'll have a complete lesson on right hand technique, but until you, as a beginner, can make some chord shapes, then we'll expand on that with the right hand. So as long as you're making this chord cleanly, again, we're just talking about the top four strings, the highest, thinnest strings. Any string you want to pick in any way, downstroke is down, upstroke is up, it should sound good, and you can start to be creative and make music. Here's your C. Practice, repetition, look forward to practicing, get into it. You will learn so much more. And remember, supplies, repairs, instruments, instructors, Rock Island Sound has everything you will need for your musical desires. So we'll see you at lesson number 5. And remember to practice and have fun. That's the key to making music.